Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd on the 7th of July, 2016. Let's see some photos from Fayetteville, Arkansas. And here we go with 112 Drive-In. You see the theater there in the background? That's the gate you go through. Well, there's a piece of prairie out there that I've been talking about for 2 or 3 years, I guess, occasionally. And last year it was all mowed in July. This year there's good news about this parcel of prairie. I brought it up. Okay, there's the species of milkweed that's most significant out there, that's so plentiful. There are hundreds, even thousands of stands of that important monarch butterfly feeding plant. It's Asclepias hurtella. Now, here we see some sneeze weed out there. And the good news, see it's growing right there, sneeze weed with the Asclepias hurtella milkweed. Anyway, the good news is that this, at least a major part of this prairie land next to 112 Drive-In, will not be mowed until late fall or winter. And here is the tiny well, this is a dragonfly, isn't it? Anyway, there are tiny orchids out there, Sporanthes species. Those are pretty plentiful in protected prairie areas, in old fields that are being ignored in northwest Arkansas. But when they get mowed down, they don't come back. They're perennials, so they'll try to come back the next year. But then if they get mowed too early in the season, you'll never see them. Okay. This is something else out there. It's the polygala, and it's got a hair streak butterfly on it. Very tiny flower, very tiny butterfly. So these are, well, some of these are cropped, but they're certainly shot very close. And here's the Sporanthes orchid, one that's almost past bloom, but I got a hold of it and got close to show it. Of course, there are dragonflies in all these places, and everything this time of year around wetland is going to have dragonflies and even damselflies. Here's some of the polygala, the field of milkwort, in a stand of grass that's called panicum, one of the many species of panicum, and that's what the tiny, tiny grass is. It almost shades that out. Okay, this is the sensitive briar. You said, well, you showed us these things from other places. Yeah, but here's one that's now going to be protected through the growing season. And the crawfish will like that too, because they don't like it to dry out, and they come on the surface looking for something to eat when it rains hard and floods their burrows and so forth. So here we are way off across the field looking back at the 112 Drive-In. This is slender mountain mint, and this is the lobelia, tiny lobelia species that grows out there. Here's a different species of milkweed. It's the Asclepias viridis, and that's a seed pod. Here's a little tiny white thing that is really tiny, and I didn't identify it. Here are seed pods of the hurtella, the one that's most common, such as this one here with the bumblebee on it. And here's sneezeweed again. The great news is that 2 members of the city's urban forestry staff went out and visited with the people that own this land and got an agreement that they would only cut the hay late in the season. And you just saw a Turk's cap lily, and we're going to see more in the second segment. Thank you. Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd again on the 7th of July 2016, and let's see a variety of photos from South Fayetteville, Arkansas. The first one is one I showed 2 or 3 weeks earlier, and it's a dahlia prairie clover. And here is an example of a Turk's cap lily. Now these are in bloom in, well, I could easily show you 3 without driving but a mile or 2 in either direction. And these are pretty rare. They only bloom this time of the year, and it lasts a while. A few more buds will come. But these are spectacular, Turk's cap lily. There are multiple species of Turk's cap lilies, so I can't promise you that I can identify these with their specific names, but you can look them up, Turk's cap lily. In a good source, you'll find several of them. Okay, this is the large passion flower, and this is at World Peace Wetland Prairie. And this is also there, and it's a Monarda. And here you see a different stand of Turk's cap lily. This one's on the square. It has strange foliage compared to the others, but the basic structure of the flower is the same. And so you see it there as possibly a cultivar. No, I doubt it. I think it's just one of the 3 or 4 species that can be identified. This is an American basket flower. Where is it? Downtown on the square. The first one I've seen in bloom, full bloom this year, and I'm very grateful for whoever it is on the park staff, horticulturalists, who put some basket flower seeds out on the square, and so I can actually show them a little early, because the wild ones around my place are not in bloom quite yet, but I think this coming week they will be. Okay, this is a later view of that prairie clover. And now you've got Asclepias tuberosa, milkweed with tiny hair streak and a fat bumblebee. And here's the Illinois bundle flower, and it's an interesting relative of the close relative, fairly close to the red similar species. This is an extreme crop, I guess, or I was almost that close, just zoomed up on him. And this is something I could not identify. Bernetta Hinterthur, which volunteered that one day she'd go out with me to look at this plant and confirm what it is. But guess what? That spot was mowed since I talked to her about it and shared the pictures. Okay, here's Turk's cap lily in another spot. This one is at the senior center. I was surprised to see it there. It appears to be the same species that's on the downtown square. You can tell by some oddities of parts of the foliage, and you see the little buds down the stem. Anyway, it's a very interesting, beautiful plant to have. Okay, here's St. John's wort. Been showing these for a week or 2, and some more echinacea. And these are edge of World Peace Wetland Prairie. And what else are we gonna share here? Okay, milkweed with tussock moth on it. Tussock moth, such as this, eat the foliage of any species of milkweed they can find. And this one's, I'm trying to document its continued growth. We'll see what it is next week. Until next time, do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, and the woods green. Enjoy the wild things. See you.